Good morning and welcome to the Red Mic. Happy New Year. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. Really do. These Red Mic messages are leadership and life lessons I've picked up from 25 years as a public servant, 16 years as a youth football coach and scouting volunteer, and 10 years as a mediocre athlete with far more heart than actual physical ability. Today's Red Mic message is sort of a reflection of sorts. Started doing these back in March of last year. Initially, I didn't know really much of anything as far as content, branding, locale, messaging, any of that. Um, I was sort of doing the Dr. Phil, faking it until I made it, and I still feel like I'm kind of faking it. I mean, I haven't been doing this a year, but science. There was a study in the European Journal of Social Psychology, and it found that on average, it takes 66 days for a behavior to become automatic. But the range varied from 18 to 254 days, depending on the complexity of the habit, the individual differences, stuff like that, different factors and whatnot. Um, I would have to say that doing these red mic messages has certainly become a habit for me. Um, I started off doing them rather haphazardly, didn't know when I was going to do them. Then I moved them to 2:30 Central Time. Then I changed jobs and couldn't take the time in the middle of the day. I didn't have the flexibility built into my schedule to put a hard stop in the middle of the day every day. So I started doing them in the morning. And I feel pretty comfortable doing them there now. So regularly, non-holiday times, I do these red mic messages right at about 6:30 every weekday. Um, I would invite you to check them out. If not live, they're on just about every social media platform out there. I'm not on TikTok. I don't like TikTok. Um, Started off just as Facebook exclusively, branched out into YouTube, Rumble, Audible, Amazon Music, Instagram, LinkedIn. I think that's all. Oh, I'm also on X. Um, Again, I'm not on not on TikTok. I, I've gone on TikTok, but talking it's just I'm a Gen X guy. It's not really my thing. So these red mic messages, as I say in the intro every day, these are sort of my personal reflections on resilience and leadership and values. Yesterday I went on a rant about that Arkansas player, and it still hacks me off that the university's not said anything. But you know, at this point, they probably won't, and that's just discouraging. If I still had kids that were college age, I would seriously reconsider the University of Arkansas for that single reason. Um, is it harsh? Probably. You know, am I probably holding a grudge I shouldn't? Probably, but I think integrity counts. I hope that you find that these messages are fairly consistent in that. Um, I appreciate all the time that you spend with me. You know, 25 years as a public servant. I've been in or near state government going back to 1999. Started working for my state senator, a guy named Tom Haywood. I'd actually covered him as a reporter. I was a reporter in Wichita Falls from 1993. Yes, 1993 until late 1997. Well, in 1994, he actually offered me a job. He wanted me to be his press secretary, but I was going to have to move to Austin. I was in the process of planning my wedding, and I said, at that point, he was still Dr. Haywood. And I said, Dr. Haywood, I appreciate your offer, but I can't do it right now. I would hope that you would keep me in mind. Fast forward a few years, and he said, "I want you to come run my district and handle my communications." So that meant not moving, much easier decision, and made my, my mom happy that I was able to finally use my political science degree for something other than just, words on a wall and background for the occasional story that I had dealing with politics. Although by that time I was no longer in the newspaper business. Um, Left the newspaper business in '97. Went back into radio. I was a DJ in college and uh, went back into radio on the sales and marketing side of things. Sold our 4 stations, and I also ran our AM station, uh, Real Country 1290 in Wichita Falls. And then the offer came in from Senator Haywood, and we were cooking with gas, and he passed away a couple of years after that. Ended up how we ended up in Austin. Been here ever since. The 16 years as a youth football coach and scouting volunteer, uh, those times obviously overlapped. I coached kid football for 9 years before I ever coached any before I even had kids of my own. And then I took several years off until my younger son wanted to play. I put in 7 years coaching him, and then I hung it up for good. I still get the itchy trigger finger every fall to do it, but not going out in 100-degree temperature and running around with a bunch of sweaty 8, 9, and 10-year-old kids is probably a good thing. So, um, intermixed with all of that was my time as a scout leader. I did a little bit of everything. I was a den leader. I was the popcorn colonel. I ran our popcorn sales. I was an assistant cub master. I was cub master. I was an assistant scout master. I was on the committee. Did all of those things and found it very rewarding. And my 10 years as a mediocre athlete with far more heart than actual physical ability. Um, until I got into high school, it wasn't a size issue. High school, it was purely a size issue. I was too small. I was playing at what was then the highest classification in Texas football. I was at a 5A school in Wichita Falls. Doesn't exist anymore, sadly. The Wichita Falls High School Coyotes. We were really, really talented. And I say we collectively. I was a good snapper, but, slow footed, uh, you know, as I say, I had a lot more heart than actual physical ability, but man, I loved to play. I really did. I still, you know, miss it and, wish I could go back and tell 16-year-old Patrick, hey, try this, do this instead. Things I picked up along the way. Anyway, um, some of my old scout coaching and football adages that I've been using, they work. They still work in life. If you can't see it, don't hit it. Keep your eye on the target. Um, Keep your feet parallel like railroad tracks. It's all about balance. Doesn't matter if it's in sports or in life. Stay balanced. Keep your back straight. Um, Slouching and hunching does more than impact your posture. I think it eventually becomes a part of who you are. So don't let it permeate your attitude. Tall shoulders. Be confident. Be proud. Go out there and knock them dead, right? I appreciate you being here. Not much of a real message today other than a reflection on what we've done over the last almost a year. I appreciate you all so very much. I enjoy doing this. I'm going to keep doing them as long as I can. I I can't tell you how much it means to me to know that you're here with me for this journey. Thank you so much. As always, I will see you again tomorrow. And don't forget, life is short. Drink the bourbon.